I'm
sorry, Mr. Name.
When did you
Craig,
pass
C-R-A-I-G, lovely, L-O-V-L-Y, maybe 9 o'clock this morning. Over to the,
okay.
Yeah, so,
I've encountered you before somewhere, haven't I? Is it here?
this is the first time I'm appearing before here, but I've been here observing before.
Okay. Good. Well, your name is- Okay. Where do you practice?
With Attorney Barrett.
Oh, that's how I, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's, so I understand that. Where the hell's this
Okay.
going on? Yeah.
Can we, I missed the attorney's name. I'm
Lovely.
sorry.
Craig,
That was
lovely.
known by the company.
Yeah, comments, L-O-V-L-Y.
Thank you.
All right, what's this all about?
Opening statement. Well, first of all, identify yourself.
My name is John Varone, V-A-R-O-N-E. I'm a lieutenant with the Groton Police Department, and I represent the chief.
And you know, so
I do have his authority.
And that's Groton Town, right?
Yes.
A few unconsolidated towns and cities in Connecticut. Go ahead, Lieutenant.
I'm a little uneased on this only because we haven't received, or formally received the application at this time. Therefore, we have not done an investigation on him, nor have we made a determination on whether we would issue or whether we wouldn't issue.
What does that mean, formally received?
We have
Like an informal way to receive an application?
We have a procedure in which the people sign up for their fingerprinting, and what they do is they come in, they have an interview with either myself or a sergeant or one of my detectives. We go over the application with them, make sure that it's filled out correctly and stuff, and then they go on into the fingerprint process. We don't just, you can't just walk up and hand in an application.
And you're not obeying the law.
Okay.
A person can file an application with the police department, and that starts the process. So you can't not take an application simply because the fingerprint cards haven't been done in accordance with their appointment schedule.
Okay.
The guy comes in, he's got a completed application on a form prescribed by the state police. You have to accept that application, and that starts the clock for doing the process.
Okay.
You're not familiar with that?
No, not at all.
So, question, when you say formally received, had at some point the appellant here brought a DPS 799 along with perhaps fingerprints to Groton Town Police Department?
Or supporting materials like, the certificate of completion of the NRA course and that kind of stuff.
Can I defer that to the Mr. Lovely? He'd know better than I do. I never received it, and
Who's Mr. Lovely?
and I'll explain why. I handle,
Somebody dropped the file on you and told you to go
and come up here and do it. Now I usually handle all of the pistol permits and or the applications.
Right.
And what we've done is we've been trying to streamline everything to eliminate all the technical errors that we have or all the delays in the process of which we have. And that's one of the ways that we have done it. I have a letter from my chief, which was mailed to him, and I can read it in if you want.
Do we have it already?
Yes.
Oh, we have it. If we have it, then you don't have to read it, we'll
Okay.
just put it into the record, I think.
Well, the chief says in the issuing authority questionnaire, appellant has not applied. He has been informed of the process, but has yet to apply or come in. And
It says, reportedly filed it by another agency by dropping off his application to the Groton Town PD and by mailing his application of children fingerprints cards to the chief. Well, he dropped off his application, and that sort of started the process. You know?
I think it goes even further than that. Walking in and requesting an application blank starts the process if you refuse to give it to them.
Oh, no, we have them. In fact, I have applications at the window so that when the officers, if he comes up to it, he's immediately handed that.
Okay.
He should be, and if he's not,
But then if he turns around and fills it out,
Yes,
and comes back and hands it in, that starts the clock.
okay.
Do you know that?
No, I did not know that, no.
I have a question, why does it say it's scheduled?
That's the statute. Obviously, in receiving the chief's questionnaire, it caused me to do some homework.
Yes.
That's the statute.
I've got it right here.
It says,
What statute is it?
2928A sub A, if such application form is not supplied within the time.
There's no question on that, we give them the application.
Okay. When any such request is made in person at the office, the local authority shall supply such application form immediately.
That's only giving them the application, and we give them,
The local authority shall not later than 8 weeks after a sufficient application for a temporary stay permit has been made, inform the applicant that such applicant's request has been approved or denied. Now, the chief's letter indicates that you received it. So then by receiving the application and then turning around and sending it back then, seems to me to be a denial at that time, which would be, as of April 22nd, 2013, it's been denied.
Because a sufficient application is an application that has everything that's required by the statute.
Did it have the checks in the package? Let's
again,
put it over to the appellant and have him make his case.
Sure. Let's go through the process here of an application. On April 20th, did you by certified mail and
I
hand
think you're
deliver?
only making opening statements right
Well, we're into
I kind
the
of jumped into everything.
we're into the evidence because
All right, go ahead. I'm
If you're
sorry.
gonna talk about dates, can I have a year, please? April 20th of when?
Of 2013.
Thank you.
Of April 20th, 2013, did you by certified mail and hand delivery go to the Groton Town Police Department and deliver a DPS 799C signed and notarized?
No, actually, it couldn't have been prior to that. The April 20th date that we're talking about was after I got a phone call from Deputy Chief Smith saying that he received my application and there was a bunch of things wrong with it. He left that message with my wife. Called him back that day, asked him what was wrong with my application. He said there's 2 things wrong. He said you mailed it in, which we won't accept it, and you have them on federal fingerprint cards by state fingerprint cards. So he said you should come up, pick them up right now. We're not going to process your application. I said okay, and that is when, April 20th, I went to the City of Groton Police Department to see if I can get fingerprints done on a state fingerprint card. They had no problems doing it. The chief of the City of Groton wanted to make a phone call prior to doing so. I said, sure, that's not a problem. He ended up calling Chief Crowley, who Chief Crowley said, don't fingerprint them, we're not going to accept it. He came in and said, hey, I can't fingerprint you at this time right now. I just talked to somebody, he said that they won't accept it. I said, did talking to Chief Crowley, he said yes. But
hold on a second. Your department's policy to not accept an application unless they get the fingerprints done by you on your schedule?
Yes.
Okay. What is your schedule for doing fingerprints?
Right now, right now it is, we do it every Wednesday from 8:30 till 12:30.
So 1 day a week,
1 day a week. No, for
Not even
pistol
a full
permits. For pistol permits.
but for other things you do fingerprinting and other
We
times?
we now fit them around pistol permits. We've turned around and we've eliminated fingerprinting for everyone and anyone that is not a resident in the town.
Okay. And I don't know of any statutory requirement that the fingerprints be taken by the issuing authority, do you?
29-9
Take a look at
subsection B says the local authority shall take fingerprints of such applicant or conduct any other method of positive identification required by the State Police Bureau of Identification or the FBI. And it goes on to state, unless the local authority determines that the fingerprints of such applicant have been previously taken, have been previously taken and the applicant's identity established, and such applicant presents identification that the local authority verifies is valid.
It's 29-9?
29-9 subsection B.
You might not have the right one there. I just handed you the whole book. Somewhere in here, in the chief's
29,
response
Yeah, it's gotta be.
In the chief's response to our questionnaire, in section 8, he says that the appellant has been scheduled for an appointment for August 14th at 9 a.m.
Yes.
That's, you see, April, May, June, July, August, that's 4
4
months
months
out.
out.
You're defeating the 8 weeks in the statute, or even what the chiefs has managed to extract from the legislature, which effective July 1 is going to be 12 weeks, by scheduling people out 3 months just for the fingerprints. You're defeating the intention of the legislature.
That's 4 months, not 3.
4 months.
We don't look at it, and I understand what you're saying. The way that we interpreted it was that it wasn't until we received that application, okay, that the clock started. That once we got the fingerprints going and everything going, that the clock started. And the reason why it was out that far, in fact, we had previous discussions this afternoon about it, was that we didn't realize how far out the records clerks were scheduling these things.
It doesn't matter.
Once I was made aware of that situation, that's when I started doubling up everything and increasing everything up to it.
You were asked a question about the issuing authority being the only ones that could take the fingerprints of the applicant. And you pointed us to 29-21 parent B. 2929B. And that says the local authority shall take the fingerprints of such applicant or conduct any other method of positive event identification required by the State Police Bureau of Identification or the Federal Bureau of Investigation unless the local authority determines the fingerprints of such applicant have been previously taken and the applicant's identity established and such applicant presents identification that the local authority verifies is valid. That's the language that so you're standing on that language to say that Groton Town is the only, first of all, they have to take the fingerprints and they're the only ones to take the fingerprints?
For us, yes.
State police don't use fingerprints.
The state police, and if you want to do it, I have a copy of the ones, these are the ones, right?
Yes, that's the
They're improperly
state
filled out.
police in Middletown.
They're improperly filled out?
And they left out, I know it's technical, but they left out the employer's name and address.
But that's in the application.
No, that's the
No.
state police fingerprint. That's right.
The state-
The state police, they don't, when they take the fingerprint, they don't know who's going to get the response, so they got to leave that blank for you to put your
No,
name.
the employers on the identification
Yes,
process.
but that's of no consequence because the application, the DPS 799, has the employer's information in it already. So just because it doesn't appear in two places,
I got it.
there's no effective harm to the issuing authority in doing
And
the
that's why I said it's
investigation.
only a technical error, but it's one of the things.
So
The
omission
reason-
is of no
the-
consequence.
The reason that we like to do our own fingerprints is because we now can say we positively identified this person. We're not relying on anyone else to positively identify this person. When a person walks into the Groton Town Police Department, they produce an ID. We validate and verify who they are, and then we roll their fingerprints.
And that would be great if you did it every day.
Okay,
Yes.
don't you
Can't
think
do
that the federal government would be just as diligent as you? I mean, you have a person here in the military that is fingerprinted and identified to be in the service.
But I don't have access, but I don't have access to his files.
Well,
Well, wait a
in
minute,
the
hold on.
fingerprints, in the
Somebody
fingerprints.
else had fingerprinted him and identified him as who he is.
Mhm.
He has a military ID card with his thumbprint on it.
It doesn't have a...
No, that doesn't, there's biometric
But
data.
aren't you,
Is it
wouldn't you be
done
happy with the
back
state
then?
police identifying him satisfactory with you?
That's, my chief desires that we print our own people.
I don't
Even-
care,
even if the
damn it, that's the law.
Hold on, Mr. Cook.
Sir,
I'll tell you where your problem is. It's not in chief wanting to print people. If your chief wants to print people, he's got to put resources into printing people. The problem that you have is that 2928 talks about people making an application. And it says, request for temporary state permit shall be submitted to the chief On application forms prescribed by the Commissioner of Emergency Services and Public Protection, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right? That's what it says. Then the next, all the rest of the stuff there doesn't apply. And then the next subsection says, the local authority shall, not later than 8 weeks after a sufficient application has been made. A sufficient application is an application on a form prescribed by the chief. The rest of it is the background information, the background investigation that you're doing. You got whatever time the statute says you have to do it. That includes taking the fingerprints. The minute that application comes in, a person has applied. And then the chief has to act on that application, whether he wants to take the fingerprints or whether he's going to take them from the federal government or he's going to make the Pope take them. He's got to act on that application within the time frame. Because a sufficient application is an application that answers all the questions.
Just that you did state form prescribed by the chief.
I'm sorry.
I understood what he meant.
Yeah, it says a form prescribed by the Commissioner of Public Safety.
By the Commissioner.
Yeah. That's the problem. And so when this guy shows up with an application form that's correct, that starts the clock running.
You can't send them away and tell them come back on
Yeah.
August 15th.
Yeah, come back. You'll come back when we have somebody to take your fingerprints.
Okay.
It's an unfunded mandate that the legislature has imposed upon the towns.
It's funded because they get a check with $70.
Oh, that's true. It's a funded mandate that the,
We won't get it if the people actually get a thing. If they're denied, we don't collect the money.
Well, but if they're
Really?
denied, yeah, okay.
so it's a partially funded mandate.
Partially funded.
But actually,
Other towns.
you don't have to give that.
I know
money
other
back.
towns do, but
You don't
again,
have to let,
You don't have to refund that money.
And that's
yeah,
irrelevant.
you don't have
I
to.
know, it is.
The relevant point is that this is a state process on a state form with state regulations, and you are suborning it.
And I apologize if we are, and again, it's not my
Well, see,
interpretation.
we're-
of this,
we're in a
but
difficult position.
You are the defining board,
See,
and I will
We
take.
had,
Everybody, with everybody, they just have them talk to the chair.
When did he make the application? April. April.
Last one.
April 22nd.
Oh, the 8 weeks hasn't run yet.
And wait a second, pardon?
March
March
28th.
28th is when I attempted to hand it in, and I talked to Sergeant Gauthier, and he said he would not accept my application.
Yes, but didn't
And I don't know why it isn't in our package, because part of the reason it's scheduled for today is because some Navy commanding officer sent in a notice that he's
It was
subject
fast.
to, he's subject to being, what do you call it?
Send out to see.
I have a copy. Yeah, he's subject to being deployed. And I don't know why that didn't make it into this package.
I don't know,
We did
probably
get-
because it was, yeah, definitely,
We-
it was in
that's why it's
the
gonna
We
email.
actually have a policy on that. When the sailors, if they come in and they're deployed in the time that the background's going on, thank you, we just hold on to it till they get back. And the chief will not sign the permit until they're back in port. And we usually end up with, when the boat goes out, we usually end up
Smoothly,
with
as I can say.
2 or 3.
You see that who represent here, represent the police chief.
Yes.
I represent the State Police Commission.
I suggest the chief read the statutes.
We did, and I see where you're saying it, but I don't, let me put it this way. I'm taking back what you said. Tomorrow morning, when I get in, I'll be rewriting the policy for it, okay? We'll be
In the meantime-
changing it to the system, that we have. How my chief's gonna implement this, okay, I don't know. Having to call a police officer off the road at 20, someone walks in at midnight with a pistol permit out.
Well, no.
8 weeks.
You don't have to take it at midnight. Office hours. If you have, because your police station is not open, the chief's office is not open at midnight.
The station's open.
Yeah, but the chief,
give it a-
the chief is the person to whom they're applying. So reasonable construction of that is during normal business
And
hours.
as of now, you got 2 months.
but if
You
somebody,
got 8 weeks to do it.
The
starting
system,
July 1st.
as we
Let
were
me finish.
talking, I'm sorry, sir.
You got 2 months to do it, so
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you have to have it as soon as he comes in at noon, you got a fingerprint at 1 o'clock. he comes in at noon today and hands in the application, say, okay, Thursday afternoon at 3 o'clock, be here with fingerprints. We got 2 months. We got 2 months to take the fingerprints and do the whole background investigation.
And if somebody shows up at midnight, the answer is come back the next day, not 5 months from now.
And this, I don't want to come off as sarcastic. This is a learning experience for me.
You're gonna learn something else, I think, very quickly, and that's because.
Well, actually, I'm trying to figure out what the remedy is, because if 4 weeks didn't elapse, and they didn't refuse to give him an application.
They denied him an application, they denied his permit.
They denied his, they did deny his permit.
They did deny it because they sent it back.
Oh, they did.
That acknowledges that
Denied,
they received it,
right.
and then they denied it.
They denied it, okay. All right, so we treated
And the
it as
reason that the
denied.
denial moved
Okay.
forward is because he's subject to
Yes.
being shipped out.
We got to straighten this out, because the fact that they would refuse to accept the state fingerprint cards.
Well, we don't have to go there, we're gonna decide Mr. Paddock's case.
In the meantime, the state police can always, if they disagree with, if this board votes the way I think they're gonna vote, and you've got to issue the permit based on what you do, then they can re-examine it when they get it.
You don't have
They got another 8 weeks.
you don't have a triple I on him, right? No.
Not yet.
So we're gonna content ourselves with consulting the Judicial Department website. If you would, Mr. Fishbein. Now, we're only gonna be able to check in the state of Connecticut for pending criminal cases and pending, or criminal convictions, by doing this. So we won't have an interstate check, and he is born in New Jersey, so if there's something lurking around out there, the state police may have to pick that up at the time, if we order you to issue. The state police may have to pick that up when he comes up for his state permit. And the state police could deny him if he had some statutory bar.
Mr. Chairman, my search shows nothing open or nor conviction.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
does this individual have a security clearance?
Well, Mr. Paddock, I'm going to ask Mr. Paddock some questions. Mr. Paddock, where were you born?
I was born in New Jersey.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
And you're married?
Married.
You have
Yes, sir.
children?
Yes, sir.
You serve in the United States Navy?
Yes, sir.
And what's your rank?
E6.
And what is your, whatever the Navy equivalent is of an MOS?
I'm a nuclear machinist, mate.
Okay, and are you assigned to any particular unit or vessel?
I was on a submarine, now I'm on shore duty.
Okay, and your shore duty, when did that commence?
That commenced about a year and a half ago. I got there. Same is in Groton. I was in Groton and stayed in Groton. So.
And now the submarine service is more selective than other units in the Navy, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Were you required to obtain a security clearance
Yes,
from
sir.
the Navy? What is the nature of your security
A
clearance?
secret clearance?
Secret clearance. And when was the last time you renewed that secret clearance?
It's on a 5-year basis or 10-year basis, and so it's when I first got into the nuclear pipeline, which is about 5 years ago now.
Okay. And have you ever had your secret clearance revoked or suspended?
No, sir.
Now you're subject to random urinalysis in the Navy, is that
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Have you ever popped top for anything?
No, sir.
Have you ever been subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice,
No, sir.
whether a court-martial or an Article 15?
No, sir.
Or a captain's mast?
No, sir.
Have you ever been arrested by the civilian authorities in any jurisdiction?
No, sir.
Where's the laundry list?
Oh, I got it.
No.
Wait a minute.
No, well, we gotta
I know
make sure
what
you
you're
successfully,
I know what you're
yeah, we gotta make sure that, have you successfully completed the National Rifle Association course for,
That's in the package.
it's in the package?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're looking for this one? on this?
Yeah, the laundry list there.
This,
Have you ever been subject to a firearms seizure order?
No, sir.
Have you ever been convicted of a serious juvenile offense?
No, sir.
Are you prohibited by federal law from possessing or shipping firearms because you were adjudicated a mental defective or committed to a mental institution?
No, sir.
Are you have any protective or restraining orders pending for the use or threatened use of force in the case of, well, any protective orders?
No, sir.
He's never been convicted of a crime.
Subject.
Disqualified misdemeanors.
Yeah, but he said he's never been arrested before.
Okay.
I think we covered it, right? Is that them all? Let me go back there. You're a citizen of the United States, obviously.
Yes, sir.
And you're over the age of 18.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we find for the appellant.
Second.
On the full record of the case, there being no statutory disqualifiers, the appellant having completed the prescribed requirements for obtaining a pistol permit, will enter, we find that the issuing authority was without just and proper cause to deny the application of the appellant, and I would find for the appellant. Is there any objection to making the unanimous vote?
No.
Hearing none, so ordered. That's the order of the board.
Thank you.
One thing,
When will you be at your office?
Bright and early tomorrow morning.
Good.
And,
You want to wait for our letter to issue in this pistol permit?
I
Or do you want to?
I will speak to my chief tomorrow morning and advise him of what has been issued or what the determination is and recommend to him that we issue immediately.
Okay, Mr. Paddock, you get in contact with the lieutenant.
You got my card?
I do not.
Make sure you have my card before we leave.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Lieutenant,
And I will
you'll probably
do
get it
again.
tomorrow, I'm guessing.
I'm hoping that you will. So,
Lieutenant,
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Now, Lieutenant, yeah, get with the chief.
it doesn't have to be tomorrow, just anytime within
The
the
chief will be happy to help you.
Yeah, oh, this is, yeah.
Yeah, no, our chief.
Yeah, and again, I've been, the last time I was in front of you guys, I told you about how when I get an application that's not right, rather than canceling the guy, I call him in and have him.
Admirable.
And have him do it. Well, am I gonna be able to do that still?
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, after July 1st, you gotta have 3 months.
And that's the better process, because then you don't wind up coming up here and waiting all that.
That's what I know.
Mr. Greer had a question for you.
Lieutenant, one comment. On fingerprinting, when I did this in New Haven for my own permit, they had a woman, an ex-state trooper, who came in a couple of days a week and did a bang-up job. Nothing to do with the local authority, and we paid for it. The applicants paid for it.
The applicants pay for this. With all due respect, can we move to the next case?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mr. Greer, I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, good luck.
We're not looking to go beyond 5.